Hello there, this is H.D. Ingalls. Going to trouble you again with another little message. Last couple or three that I did were personal, but they were when I was young and they were a bit humorous. This one is personal, uh, but it's not really humorous, not tremendously serious, just not humorous. Uh, I think you call it a lesson in life for a young boy. What the heck? Why not? At any rate, I was 2.5 years old when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. And when I was born in 39, my father was 45, uh, which eliminated him from being in the Army at the age of, 47, 48. But he was in the trenches in France during World War One. At any rate, we were still recovering from the depression financially. Daddy had trouble getting jobs. He finally found one, and I really don't remember when. 42 or early 43, right in there somewhere. He got a job in Baltimore, working in a German prisoner of war camp. It was not a big deal government position. He made enough money to keep himself and to send some home. We probably wouldn't have made it had it not been for my sisters, because some of my older sisters were working by then, so we could eat and keep a roof over our heads. Enough of that. We meaning my mother and I, to visit Daddy in the summer of 44 and the summer of 45. I'm pretty sure this happened in 44 because the war was still going on full force at that time, just after a D-Day. What happened was, there's two things I remember very distinctly. The first thing, short, but it was an image I'll never forget. Daddy had a little, wasn't even an apartment, a second story, somebody's house he had rented, very small. Living room, bedroom, kitchen, that's about it. And not too big. I was looking out the front window, and we lived right across the street from the camp. So made it very convenient for my father, no car fare to have to get to work. At any rate, I was looking out and I saw a truck pull out, and the truck in the back of it was German prisoners. I assumed they were trustees. They probably were doing them a favor by letting them go somewhere and work for something to do. But the one I remember the most was a little triangular hitch in the back of the truck, and two American military police were sitting there with a machine gun pointed into the truck. You see kind of stuff in movies, but when you're 5 years old and you see it for real, it just sort of puts an impact on your little brain, or at least it did mine. Well, one day my father decided to take me on a tour through the camp. I'm sure he had it all planned as I look back. He introduced me to a few people. Hello, goodbye. This is my son, Yak Yak Yak. And keep in mind, at 5 years old, all I've known since I was 2, which I probably didn't know anything at that age, it was a war, and the Germans were bad guys, and every German ought to be killed. that's the way I felt about it. They're no good Germans. My father then took me to see a man. I don't remember at all what he looked like, probably 30 years old or so. Spoke very good English. And my father got he and I into a conversation. Uh, uh, we talked about stuff. He's a really nice man. I didn't hate him. I hated all Germans, and suddenly I didn't hate this guy. I remember one thing, I can't exactly remember his words, but he told me about he had a little white cottage with a fence, and a white picket fence, and children in the yard, and that type of thing. And I could still conjure up in my mind that house. I've never seen it, never saw a picture of it, but the 5-year-old brain captured an image of a beautiful little cottage, white picket fence, and all that, and children, and trees, and as I got older, I thought about that, and I wondered what that man encountered when he actually saw what was left at home. But that's another story, something I could never tell. The moral of that story is my father was a very wise man. After I talked to that German POW, I suddenly didn't hate every German that ever lived. Hitler was still a bad guy, sure, but I did not have this hate. And that's why I say I'm sure that my father planned the whole darn thing. He didn't want me to have that. So that's why I say I believe Daddy was a very wise man. Well, I don't have a whole lot more to tell you on this category. But well, heck, I don't have much more to say at all. So what I'll say is thank you for watching. This is HD Angles. I'll try it again sometime. Oh, before I forget, the last one of these little Zooms I did it without notes, and see how it worked out. I'm always afraid I'll forget something, But I tried this one without notes, and it seemed to work. I really don't like the notes, except I'm afraid I'll miss something really important, which you probably don't care about at all anyway. So at any rate, once again, this is HD Angles, and thank you for watching. See you next time.